So, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number two, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number three, you can make money from your podcast with absolutely no minimum listenership. Number four, it's absolutely everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to the Bloodcast, the podcast where we talk about superhero gadgets and technology that has made its way into the real world. I, of course, am your host, the Blood Spider, and this week I'm joined with some of the most awesome people in the community, the Human Spider and Spider Slayer. You guys, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad I made it to the recurring guest segment.
Yeah, both of you, two recurring guests. It's Human, this is your third Bloodcast, right?
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Because you had one with yourself and then one with the Amazing and now this one. So
wow.
It's a pretty big achievement, man. You should feel honored. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm honored.
You've made it to the big leagues. So, yeah, man, I was in regards to your new web cartridges, Human Spider. Mm-hmm. I was looking at those today. That you seem to have figured out the pressure situation.
Yeah. They definitely. I was worried about using them because I was going to go with the Amazings route on creating transparent cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I didn't feel really comfortable making the fluid inside a container that I could not visibly see how much propellant, more of the refrigerant I could put in.
Yeah.
Because that was really the only thing that was worrying me. But after I made those cartridges and tested it out for myself, I realized that it's fine making them out of brass or whatever material, as long as that isn't translucent.
Okay, I have a question right away. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What's your technique for putting in the correct amount of the refrigerant?
Honestly, there is almost actually, I was going to say no limit to how much you can add, but with the volume of the new cartridges that I made is roughly the same as the ones, the preform cartridges. So honestly, I could fill it up to the top and it'll be fine as long as I make the correct amount of the other part of the fluid. So basically just get as much as you can in there. I like to release a little bit out of the cartridges before I completely put them in, just to see if everything mixed well, because those can it's crazy how much this formula can expand. That you can release a little bit of it and that's nothing. So I feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, something that happened to me when I was using one of the preforms was I don't think that I let it sit, for a long enough time, because if you let it sit in there and it gets clear, it kind of has a better
viscosity or
viscosity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I added too much propellant, but it just came out boogery,
really?
kind of one of the first versions. And I think that was just a result of too much propellant, and it wasn't
that's actually maybe. Actually, no, I don't think that might have been a result of too much propellant. I was getting that when I had too much of
alcohol.
Too much alcohol, or too much of the actual what's it called? Sorry, I'm suffering from a migraine. The polymer. Too much polymer.
Oh,
It's a mix between those two. You'll get some like gooey substance that's really nasty to work with. You get that on your hands or clothes, it's not
Yeah,
fun
it's
to
not.
get out. But once you do get that right, the correct ratio, it's great. I've got some more footage that I recorded recently. It's actually, yeah, what I posted on Instagram of like it works great. I can make the stuff really quick, and
Hold on, I'm gonna pull that up right now because I'm screen recording. So show the fans.
oh yeah, some behind the scenes footage.
So yeah, you can see these are his valves, or I'm sorry, these are his cartridges right here. These are the armed cartridges, and then his video. God, look at that. That big mast for a second there just kind of looks like a brain.
No, yeah, it's nuts how much I can get out of it. And I'm honestly it was from all those, you know how I've made what are they called? I've made tons of fluids that are like expanding foam that
Yeah,
honestly I just took everything I learned from that and incorporated it into this because essentially what it is, like I've been working with surfactants for like the past couple of years trying to figure something out because like I like the idea of the fluid expanding because it appears to give you more than what's actually inside the cartridge,
right.
um, which is cool, you know, so you don't have to have this giant thing in order to get a bunch of fluid out.
So
Definitely.
now, correct me if I'm wrong. What's happening with this fluid is that the R134A, as it evaporates, that is causing the uh, between 80 to, in essence, bubble, right? And
Yes.
then the polymethyl mecartholate catches those bubbles, and that's what forms the polymer chain.
Yes. So to explain kind of some of the stuff that's going on, yeah, you're right. Um, yeah, essentially what's going on is the 134. Actually, let me clear some things up because I've been getting a lot of comments lately that I haven't been able to respond
Yeah,
to.
by all means,
Um,
there's a place to do it.
I've been getting so many comments saying why don't I use CO2 or why don't I use butane or some other propellant if that one's higher pressure, and all that. But it's like, yes, it acts as a propellant to pressurize the fluid inside the cartridge, but it also acts as a solvent. It's
Right.
to dissolve the polymethyl methacrylate, um, which is really important because the
Yeah.
alcohol
No,
alone
that's
can't
that's
do it.
something that I've talked about. That's
Exactly.
something that I've talked about.
Yes. Because yeah, the alcohol by itself, it'll just make it into almost like not quite. It'll make it into a viscous, almost gel.
Yeah.
Um, is what I've noticed. The refrigerant is really what gets it to that liquid viscosity, like water-like viscosity that you wanna get in order for it to flow out through your valves at a high speed. Um, yeah. Also, yes. Okay. So the importance of the surfactant is so that it reduces the surface tension between two fluids, essentially making it like soap. It is well,
Yeah.
soap has surfactants. Pretty much, yeah. It causes that bubbling. It traps in air. So because of that, in combination with the uh, the propellant or whatever you want to call it, tetrafluoroethane, I
Yeah,
believe.
I just call it 134A.
Yeah, 1 through 4. Yeah, essentially that gets trapped inside of the polymer, and that's what causes it to expand. If you don't have enough of that, the tween 80 polysorbate 80, the surfactant, um, essentially what happens is you get left with a gooey mess. Or also, if you don't have enough of the propellant because it won't bubble or expand or anything, you could get also that gooey mess, as well as it really just an ideal ratio that you gotta reach. I've noticed that the Amazing has been he's been struggling a little. I've been talking him through it a little because he hasn't been able to create the web lens that you and me have been able to do, where they're like really like they're like almost rope like.
Yeah,
Uh, but we've almost I don't want to say 100%, but we're pretty sure we've determined that that's because of the valve that we designed. That
Oh, the SLA
that's
valve.
probably, yeah, that one. That's probably
Oh,
what the issue is. Uh, we're still doing some tests. We're doing some math, or I should say the Amazing's doing some calculations, looking into some
yeah,
fluid
he's
dynamics.
fucking good at that.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
we're
was
figuring that out because there is a reason why those butane or aerosol valves seem to work better.
Yeah, I love them
Yeah.
so much. I'm bringing the concealables back, man. Mark IV.
Mark IV. Yeah, actually,
Mark
I'm
IV.
I'm I'm trying to do something with concealable. Yeah, I'll show you when I'm done. That's what I'm making next.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the next shooter.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it with the TASM design?
Ooh, maybe not. I haven't designed it yet. I'm still working on making the valve because I have to adapt it. But yeah. I'm talking too much. I want to hear more about Spider Slayer.
Yeah. What do you got going on?
Well, just right away, if we can bring it back to the web fluid, I pulled up
Yes.
the video on Instagram on my computer here, my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got it just going. It's a beautiful loop. You've got a great product right now. One thing I'm noticing, based on my web lines that I've been able to achieve with this formula,
Mm-hmm.
is that you've got such a uniform foaming like consistency, if that's
Yeah.
the right word. Whereas
Yeah.
with mine, if you watch it, you'll see that mine forms bubbles like in the center, and it's not quite the appropriate term for it, but I get like an anal beady adjacent web fluid.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, let me see. Do you have something posted on
Yeah,
Instagram?
it's gonna be
I'm gonna pull that up too myself. He's got a really good video of him shooting it out of a web shooter. That'd be really cool.
it's gonna be the one that is trying to find. Yeah, it's right next to the friendly neighborhood spider slayer post.
Let me see.
So it's from March 27th.
Oh, further back. March 27th. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you're getting that gooey. Actually, yeah, if you look at one of my videos, one of the first tests that I actually did with the fluid once I got the R134A, I was getting similar things. Mine's from July 7th, if you can find
Okay,
that.
and that was like pre surfactant testing?
No, that was actually I wasn't really taking ratios. I was just kind of like throwing things together. That was before I hit that ideal ratio. And I was getting mine was a little more thinned out than yours, but I was getting like those beads that you were talking about.
Right. But I haven't
Um,
done any testing with any like tween 80 or anything, which I know is in the original
oh,
brain ion
okay.
formula.
Oh, you
And
haven't?
no, I haven't. And when I remember watching the video, I remember him saying that it was like an emulsifier.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so I haven't really been worried about that because my fluid doesn't really separate like after you mix it up. It takes it like a couple weeks or like a month to really like separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been assuming that if I stir it up or if I have like an M5 nut or something in the cartridge, that it'll do enough as like a rattle can action to mix it all together.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
I'm thinking that I need to place an order because that could be the difference between my like weird self-inflating fluid and maybe making something that's a little bit more uniform in consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely think you should play around with that. You'll be
See, because
surprised.
how I've been doing mine. Sorry to interrupt you,
No, yeah,
Herman,
yeah,
but
go ahead.
how I've been doing mine, I completely removed the polysorbate 80 like way early on. It had to be like version 3. It was gone completely out of the formula. And I noticed that the talcum powder was pretty much doing what like essentially the propylene glycol is doing, and I'm sorry, not the propylene glycol, the fucking Tween 80 is doing, and like, you know, helping create that exoskeleton around the primary polymer and trapping air in there. But I think that's where like a lot of the strength increase for mine was, because the acrylic was the inside, you know, of the polymer chain, whereas the like talcum powder was this fucking like almost like brittle exoskeleton around it that would, like, if you touch it, it like almost like peels off a little bit.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, no, I haven't played with the talcum powder yet, because you were getting some interesting stuff. Like, I was surprised how far you got without the polysorbate. You actually had something interesting going on. I think I might dabble in some of that stuff, because you definitely, I gotta play with that stuff, because I can definitely do something interesting with that, I think.
I was surprised too, actually, by how far he got with the same basic formula, just removing some of the like building blocks from brain ions. Because before I even joined the community, I'd like been like lurking in the background for like years. But I remember back in the like Marilyn Monroe poster era.
Oh,
do you remember that? You know what I'm talking about, Blood?
I do. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. That was, yeah. That was like, oh man, that was baby blood spider.
Absolutely. But you got so far, and you completely cut that out. I think my talcum powder might also be kind of wonky, because I thought I ordered pure stuff, but it came from England, and I think it's specifically for like leather.
Oh.
And so it's got like I think it's got like citrine or whatever, the orange peel.
Oh, citrus.
Yeah, it's got citronone.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is it just like a scenting?
Well, I think it's actually the same chemical that melts the styrofoam.
Oh, no shit.
And but I clearly have a lot more testing to do. I've tested this formula. I mean, I worked on my first test, but I haven't tested it past that very far.
Are you talking about the D-limonene?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that the one?
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, I, in my personal opinion, I think that in terms of like strength, for like webline strength, I think one of my formulas is potentially I don't want to say like better by any means, because obviously I love your stuff, Human Spider. It's fucking amazing.
But it's better.
But well, I'm just as far as like strength goes, for like what, you know, you would expect from a web shooter like that, because like, you know, I've been able to pick up like tools and fucking garbage bags filled with fucking stuff, and, you know, just heavier stuff, not, you know, nothing too like impressive, but heavier stuff. And I've been able to, you know, like pull it around and swing it a little bit and throw it and stuff. I guess more promising than any of the other versions that I've made. Like, despite of like the strength differences, it's just like the amount of material that it actually makes per cartridge is fucking astonishing.
Yep.
Like the preformed soda cartridge, dude, it was over 50 feet of fucking web lines just out of that one, and that was insane, bro. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's something. It's really cool to see that something that's got a volume of like 40 milliliters, produce something as crazy as like 50 feet of like 10 millimeter thick looking rope.
Well, you know, that's actually how Silly String was made. Silly String was made on accident like that, and when it was two scientists working on it, and then when they finally pressurized it in the can and then sprayed it out of an aerosol valve, it shot like just a huge rope of, all the way across the room, and then they knew that they had the best toy ever.
Oh, definitely. And like to be a fly on the wall in that lab when they were making that, to see their legitimate first reaction, like it's an incredible effect. It really is. And like I think that that's really all it is. It's like it's a web line effect. And I've showed it on my Instagram page a lot. Hopefully I'll make some YouTube videos about it someday. But I don't. I mean, it's definitely got like the shock and awe, and I think that for people who go to like parties, or like I'm thinking like STL Spidey, or
Yeah, cosplayers, fucking like stuff like that. Oh yeah,
absolutely, and it definitely like screams Spider-Man. It definitely leaves a lasting impression. Going back to like the original mission statement, though, Blood, I think we're still on the same page with incapacitation, right?
I am. Yeah, I definitely. That's my end goal with this whole project, and that was one of the questions that I wanted to bring up in this podcast was, do you guys think that is a possibility to do?
Yes.
What about you, HS?
Yeah, I think so.
I do too, man. And I don't think that it's like that out of our realm of possibility either. I just think that we need to, obviously the formula number one, but like, you know, there's already shit like that, man. Like even like mousetrap glue, like I don't know if you got there's this company that made this like promotional video or something, and like they made like a human sized mousetrap out of mousetrap glue out of this like fucking polymer that these guys made.
Yeah.
And like it stuck that motherfucker. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I think Adam Savage actually did that with a bunch of kids where they were wearing the hazmat suits and they tried to run across the giant glue trap.
Yeah, and like you're done, like you're in there. They're gonna have to cut you out, like for real.
Right, or you're gonna be leaving with significantly less clothing because you're just gonna have to leave that behind.
But for real, like I think if we make something like that and make it the same way to where, like, you know, how we're making this to where we can find a propellant that dissolves it and, you know, can shoot that out on a consistent basis, you know, have the pressure tweaked to where it's perfect, have a valve that preserves laminar flow and can shoot that fucking shit out, no problem. And I think that would actually be like very, very suitable self-defense weapon.
Definitely.
That's my goal, boys. That's what I want to do.
So you were saying before that your new formula steps away from web lines. Were you saying? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I hate to reference like my old shit, but I haven't been working on.
Bring it up, yo.
I haven't been really working on like the explosive release valve XRV web shooter for like a little bit now. But if we go back, I remember testing it the first time, and this would be on my Instagram next to the back in May 8th. So it would be next to the Slayer Grimoire post and one away from the Crow. So it's like the one where I included the Simpsons meme, the I'm in danger one.
Uh-huh.
That's another thing I was going into, which was the impact style.
Yes. No. Yes. I know exactly. I'm pulling it up right now so we can see. Yeah. No. That is a very, honestly, what I'm gonna go for. That's a very suitable, and I like how big it is. It's just like, yeah. Sorry, it's very loud in my headphones. No, that's actually pretty much exactly what I want to try and make.
Yeah, no, it was
like that.
It was loud in real life too. Actually, I was very surprised. But I think like if I don't remember that formula being any different than the webline formula, because I think
but you probably just had a lot of propellant in there, and like Human Spider said with the polysorbate 80 not being in there because of the high pressure and it being too much polymer in there.
Yeah.
It didn't want to make those web lines for the diameter of that nozzle that you made.
Yeah, I believe that. I also it was another situation where I like prefer the preforms, because I can like take off the top and you have like this big opening to like put in the 134. And so I think this one uses a CO2 cartridge. So I couldn't see, so I think I was basing it off of like my intuition.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. That's how I was doing it for a while too. I would just like fill it up halfway with the gunky web fluid and then fill the rest of the cartridge up all the way with the web fluid.
I was gonna ask you guys, how do you guys refill your cartridges with the Art 134A? Because yesterday, when I was doing all these tests, I actually managed to get frostbite on both of my hands, and today I've got like these like black bruises.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Damn
like,
it, dude.
it was.
Well, first of all, you got to wear gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the gloves literally froze. I was wearing gloves. They
Holy
literally
shit.
froze to my hand. Like it was bad. But yeah, I've been meaning to create like some kind of refill station for that, just for the propellant itself, because I'm getting tired of it leaking when I transfer it over.
I relate to that. What I've ended up doing is I ended up like in welding, there are different like levels of welding gloves. So I've been using like the thin, not like thin, but like the level 2, like the mid-level gloves, which are like they're like a lamb leather, I guess, like lambskin. But then I've been wearing like the big, like the pick up burning coals with your bare hands level gloves on top of that.
Damn.
So I'm like double bagging it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I fill up the cartridges. Excuse me. I fill up the cartridges in the most fucking dangerous way possible. And that is because I expose fucking the gas to atmospheric pressure and make it fucking evaporate like that. And that's why it gets so cold, you know, because like in the can straight up like that, it's not, you know, it's not that cold. It only gets that cold when it reacts with the oxygen.
Right, because it expands and it takes energy out of the
exactly.
Yeah, my big thing is really just to make sure it doesn't leak, but onto you and like freeze up your hands. But it's also like a matter of not wasting it, because for me it's not it's honestly it's the most expensive ingredient in the formula for me.
How much is it out there?
That one can actually, let me see. It was like
it's got to be like $20-$30.
Yeah, it's like $20-$30, and it's not even as big as the ones that you have.
And I've seen on one of your more recent posts, you posted the can. It has like the like right angle hose attachment at the top. Is that because it's coming from like an air horn?
Not an air horn. It's actually used as a the actual product is called Super Cold. It's used for cooling down PCBs in order to determine thermal faults in PCBs.
So it comes in like a spray.
Yeah, it comes in as a spray.
Right. And it's also it's sold at the price of like PCB like diagnostic tools, right?
Yeah.
So that's got to probably be like a 50% price increase right there.
Okay, looking at it, it's like $40 for how much?
Oh my god!
How many milliliters? Do they not show you how many milliliters? I think it only says grams. 285 grams. Okay. It's
quick blood. What's that in ounces?
Sorry, 10 ounces. 10 ounces.
10 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah. $40.
Yeah, so that's literally just about the same size of the cans that I use.
Same here. Mine are like $5, and it's because that's the ubiquitous air conditioner thing for a car.
And you wonder why I've never played with this formula before. That and it was difficult to find.
Oh,
I got lucky with this product. So at least here in Canada.
Yeah, that's why like I've been telling you for about 2 fucking years now that I'll just send you a whole case of this shit.
Yeah.
That makes sense too. You can buy cases on Amazon. They come on like the palleted form.
Yeah. Just send a whole pallet of R134A to your house, yo. Get to fucking work. That'll be what the notes on there says. It just says, get to fucking work, BS.
I have the police knocking at my door. Just
But it's like it's about the season for that now too, because I remember like the first load that I bought all these little like, I don't know if they were 12 ounce or what they were, but I bought it like a couple months before the summer here in the Midwest. So like nobody was using it in their car, so it was like $5 a can. But then I tried to pick up more like a month or two ago, and of course it's hot as fuck. And so everybody's trying to like rejuvenate their car's AC.
Yeah. Yeah, no, usually every time I buy it, I usually buy like 10 cans at once from Walmart. Just I bring one of the like sleeves that they have on the shelves. And I just take that whole fucking thing and put it in the cart. Like, yep, this is mine now. I'm probably on a watch list because I've done that like at least fucking 10 times now.
You must go through a lot of it. I haven't bought more than half a dozen cans, but I also haven't been testing it as much as you have.
Yeah, no, I have tested so much.
Ooh.
My fucking basement is covered in webs.
This brings us back though to the filling technique. I use the same technique as Save Your Gadgets in one of his YouTube videos, where you literally like just unscrew the back of the thing and you fill it almost like you're trying to fill a cup with like boiling water that's like still boiling. So I just like try to fill it to the top, and that's why I like the preforms so much, is because they have such a big mouth.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, then you're probably gonna love my new brass cartridges, because those also, you can, literally take off the cap and then screw it on, and on top I have a butane valve, so that I can refill them once I've filled them up with all the fluid contents, and then I'll pressurize it afterwards.
Oh, so as opposed to the straighter valve, you have the butane valve.
Yes.
Ah, that's a good
Like
idea, bro.
like a lighter or like a torch fill valve in the back.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I used to add the propellant.
I gotta find that. Before I got into the community, I tried to make one of your arm cartridges, Human.
Ooh.
And I went to Home Depot and I got all the parts, but I couldn't figure out the back part, which is I don't know how many of your like industry secrets you're willing to give away right now, but it's like a specific like hose piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to I remember typically you'll put the Schrader valve, but it'll be like a tire fill valve, so it'll be like one of the rubber stem ones.
I've that's pretty much what I've done, like every single time. But for these ones, I swapped over to a different type of. I pulled these valves out of some type of lighter, just because I found them to be more compact, and just the thing about the rubber ones, the car tire refill ones, because they were rubber, if they weren't screwed on tight, if you were to like, I don't know, rub up against something, and those would like just bend enough that like they will spring a leak if they're not tightened down properly, or even if they are, like if you hit it hard enough, it'll leak a bit. And that, like,
right, because they do flex a bit.
Exactly, yeah, because of the flex. So it doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it's like, oh my god, you got sprayed in the neck by fluid. And
damn, that's never happened to me.
No, you only got sprayed in the face.
Yeah, I got sprayed in the
That was
face.
intentionally, though.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, that time was, but no, there was a time where it was with these cartridges, and I was making one of the concealables, and the cartridge was full, and it was the connection to the valve to the tubing. It was that part. I'm like, it's fucking hissing right there, and I'm listening to it and like getting all close to it, and it fucking just pops, and like the tube just pointed at my face, and all the web fluid and the whole fucking cartridge is right all in my fucking face, and it's terrible.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for frostbite on your face.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen, but I almost had to cut all my hair off.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Oh no.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
My workaround for the arm cartridge though, because I never bought one of those like hose connector pieces. I just like got one of the same reducers that you use on the front. Like I don't remember now if it was like 3/4 to what it was, but I have the Milton Schrader valves from Amazon, which go from Schrader to like 1/8 inch NPT, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I just put that on the back. I'm using it right now actually to make I want to make like a web shooting pistol.
Ooh.
And I can send you guys my designs. I've shared it with Huntsman because I like to talk to him a lot. He seems like a good
web shooting pistol, like a handheld web shooter.
Oh yeah, but it's like I'm thinking of it. My project title for it in my journal thing is the Noir gun.
Ooh,
because I'm going for like a Spider-Man noir from
yeah,
Spider-Verse kind of situation.
that'd be pretty cool.
And I can send you guys pictures of it. Um,
I was actually going to try and make one of those before. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with my I think I called it my combustion gun.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what that originally was going to be. But then I was like, oh God, like my web fluid wasn't there yet, so I decided to just go with flamethrower. It was going to be more exciting at the time.
Well, and your flamethrower came out really well.
Thanks. But I honestly that idea is really really good, especially if you want to make some kind of apparatus for testing fluids. It'd be great to have something like that.
I actually hadn't thought about it that way. Yeah, I've just got like the XRV on the front, my first edition, so it's like the long one, and it's I think what one of the things about it is that it's got like I don't know what the terminology is, but the inner valve core like orifices are very large.
Ah,
So it's not quite like a ball valve on the front, but it's like similar to that.
okay.
But for testing fluids, it would be great. I just got to get that that hose part the right size and the tire valves the right size so that I can just like unscrew one thing. Because right now it's like unscrewing one brass coupling, which isn't like knurled at all. It's just got the regular thing, and then like obviously the pipe nipple, the length of pipe in the middle isn't. I mean, you can't like get a hold of it. But I should definitely do that. I need to finish this project. I've got too many projects going right now.
Yeah.
Same, bro. I'm actually having not too many troubles, but I always have trigger problems with web shooters, and because my new one is so small, I'm trying to figure out a way to just make a good detachable hinge trigger, and it's honestly probably gonna have to be magnetic, but the cartridge system I figured out is probably going to be pretty nice. This one it's literally just going to be a self-defense web shooter. It's only like a one blast per cartridge, and that's it. It's over with. But it's going to be the pepper spray web fluid. And the cartridges are going to literally probably only be like maybe 5 inches big. And I'm just making them out of little brass tubes pretty much. And I'm brazing the self-sealing valve. I'm brazing that to the brass, and then just having a bottom cap on there. And honestly, I might steal your fucking lighter valve idea and see if I can epoxy a valve into the bottom cap for filling. And yeah, they're just going to be little teeny tiny one blast cartridges.
And this is the V-shaped one that you've posted recently that I think you did like nylon filament with.
Yeah. And that fucking sucked, by the way, that nylon filament. That fucking shit was awful, and I don't know how to use it, and it just came out terrible, so I printed it in PLA.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. But yeah, fucking I'm just going to use pretty much the homecoming concealable shooter. How you made that valve with just epoxying the butane valve into the male end of that disconnect, you know?
Yeah, I plan on doing something similar for these cartridges.
Well, you know what? And another thing too, a very close future plan that I have is I want to try to incorporate like different types of nozzles and see if I can try and make some have different spray functions. So like for instance, there will be like you know how I made those really long concealable nozzles with like the longer stem on the end of the T? Yeah. Picture inside that T, there's like 2 channels in that, you know, so the web fluid would split stream in there, and then out of the nozzle it would come out split. I mean, theoretically, I haven't tried this at all or anything, but I'm just thinking of making some type of interchangeable thing, like nozzles, if that works, to incorporate with this web shooter. So, like, you'd be able to fire like a glob of it, or like two streams of it, or whatever works. I don't know. I'm gonna maybe make like an X pattern inside one of them, so there's 4 chambers, but they'll be like just really small, and that will, like, right before the fluid hits that smaller part of the T nozzle, that's what will actually, it'll almost cut it in a way, because it'll already be cured and everything, so it'll almost cut those streams coming out.
It's actually funny that you mentioned this, because I've been doing something very similar, because I'm just bouncing around from thing to thing. I'm trying just using Schrader valves as the actual web shooter valve.
That's what I've been talking about. Yes. Okay.
Well, I've been talking to Huntsman, because I've been getting so much help from Huntsman on making like servo actuated.
Yeah, he's the man, That little kid is, well, I shouldn't call him a little kid. He's not a little kid. That fucking dude is the bomb.
He absolutely is. But with Schrader valves, in like my limited amount of testing, I made a nozzle, because the inside of the Schrader valves that I have is machined to like there is like a maybe like 4 or 5 millimeter length where it is like perfectly smooth and cylindrical before you get to the inner threading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I've printed and tested some nozzles, not with fluid yet, but just with air, where it's about the same as the nozzle for the concealables, but it does have that piece in the middle that actually presses down on the pin of the Schrader core.
Yes. Okay.
And so, like, it's like this, about the same concept, except that mine splits the fluid because it has to in order to activate the Schrader valve. But this could be a similar area where we could make like a group chat or something. And
you can adjust the like airflow to those, right?
Oh yeah, I was lucky enough to get a Schrader tool with one of the cheapo screwdriver sets I got.
Yeah, no, not a lot of people know that about those.
But it's so ideal for electronic actuation, because Schraders open up so much with so little force. I think this is an area we could step into a little bit.
Yeah. No, that definitely has some gears turning. That's actually a really good fucking idea. Holy shit.
Well, another thing too is just that Schraders are super ubiquitous, so you can definitely replace it, unscrew it, clean it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, that's a super good idea.
I'll send you the stuff that I've got on it so far.
Yeah, I want to make one of Huntsman's triggerless web shooters. That shit was so cool.
I've been, it's one of the things I've been talking to him about. I wanted to make it for hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Because Menards sells these things. They look like, they're not like a gallon, but I don't have one right next to me. But it's like a water viscosity hand sanitizer. So it's got to be about the same as just like 70% ISO. Okay. But that thing in a lighter, the only problem I've run into is that the lighter valves, once you take out the restrictor, they shoot too well in like a stream. And I'm going for more of like I want like a mist,
Okay.
But I've got all the stuff for it. And the triggerless mechanism that Huntsman actually uses is pretty interesting, but I'm developing one where the trigger is actually on the back of your wrist.
Oh, okay.
So you press it by like making the classic like the same motion as with the lever action triggers.
Oh,
but
God.
On the back, it gives you room for like a battery and a charging circuit, and you can put the have a hinged mechanism on the back that's got the momentary switch on it.
Oh, dude, yes, I thought of something similar, not exactly the same, but along the same lines, I guess. That's a really cool idea. That's someone has got to do that. If I had the time, I'd do that right away. I love that. Another one that I was also thinking, kind of similar to that, was doing the black suit Spider-Man one, sort of, where it's on top
of hand.
Yeah, because me and the Amazing at one point were discussing that would be far more convenient, because for preventing like misfires, because you never bend your wrist forwards like that to actually like
Oh,
do
yeah.
any motion naturally. So if you were to make like maybe I don't know some kind of like thread sort of pull mechanism or something, it would be pretty convenient to place it on top of the wrist.
Yeah, he gave me a web shooter pro tip when we were doing all that parkour shit to like flip them around.
Yeah.
While you're doing, while we were running and climbing and shit, and that was like, wow, maybe these should be top of the hand mounted, dude. These are like,
but it does
way more
takes away from like the classic wrist web shooter sort of style.
No, it definitely does.
But
it's less cool.
It's less cool, yeah.
No, yeah, that's honestly why I haven't been able to figure out a good way to do that, and that's what I was trying to figure out with the Carnage glove. And I almost like went to like using a lighter system to do it, but I was just like, fuck that. That's not cool enough. That's not very Carnage. So I just kind of stopped. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for this next one. This one hopefully will be like a really suitable self-defense tool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I couldn't hear anything for a sec. Slayer, where did you learn to design your stuff? Because when I was looking at some of the things you were 3D printing, I was like, wow, this looks like something I would make.
Yeah,
like,
and actually, I remember
Dude.
you saying that, and it was like one of the biggest compliments that I could have ever received.
No, I was like, it felt like I was looking at like,
dude, he's the metal you,
yeah,
man.
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, wow, like, yeah, I'm a fan of your 3D prints.
I appreciate that so much. Honestly, I made a joke to Blood when he told me that I could be on a podcast with you. I was like, this is like my make-a-wish. I didn't know I was dying. Yeah, honestly, I learned to use Fusion 360 in high school. My freshman year, I took a class that was like an AP engineering class.
Yeah.
And
see, man, what the fuck? My high school didn't have nothing like that.
Yeah, don't worry, Blood. Yeah, me neither. I wish. God,
that's beautiful.
That's
but
awesome.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah.
But like Fusion hasn't changed that much, and actually, this is something I was talking to Blood about like right before we started recording, because I like Fusion has stayed about the same. It's like Photoshop, where it's like I can go on to like GIMP or any Photoshop adjacent program and like figure things out. But they updated or something, and it made everything so much worse. Like I made a STL file for Blood last night, and like everything was just effortless. And then today, actually, I got the little green banner on Fusion that was like, "Hey, we updated," and I was like, "Okay." And then I started doing it, and I don't know. Do you guys know like 3D sketches?
Yep.
That shit's a fucking nightmare. I swear to God. I'm like trying to draw a line and it's interrupting me with like, hey, do you want to see all the axes and planes that are available for you right now? And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm trying to draw on a piece of digital paper. Like this is a one plane thing. But it's definitely just like, for me, I haven't, for you, Human, I haven't watched a lot of your process in Fusion that you've included in your videos.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used Fusion in my videos. I like Fusion. I get a lot of comments.
What do you normally use?
I use 123D Design AutoCAD.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an old program, super basic, easy. It's just that I learned to use it on my laptop, and it's just like when I have a trackpad, that's my go-to program. When I'm on an actual like desktop, I'll use Fusion. But I'm almost always on my laptop, so that's why in almost all my videos, if not all of them, I'm using the 123D, which is
I know Fusion hates trackpads.
Yep, that's why I never use Fusion with my trackpad.
See, I'm a basic bitch. I just use fucking Tinkercad.
I think I'm actually like I'm afraid of using Tinkercad because I'm afraid that it wouldn't like make sense to me like Slicer or not Slicer, Mesh Mixer.
Mesh Mixer I just use for like just basic like editing already made STL files.
Well, and I downloaded it for that too, but I can't like it's one of those things where it's like I'm so used to the more like complicated stuff that I like can't.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
almost like I can't even. It doesn't matter how
Can't-
easy it is. I like don't have more room in my brain for learning different ways of doing it.
Yeah, no, it's super easy. I need to learn Fusion. That's something on my to-do list. I need to like really sit down and watch some tutorial videos and fucking get to learning me something good.
Well, and I've been making you stuff in Fusion, and I'm thinking like, man, I wish I could just have Blood Spider in the background so he could see how I'm doing this. Because like I don't know if this is like revealing for a future video, but I made you the model of the solenoid valve.
Yeah,
And that was like I wish you could have seen me do that because I was literally like, it was like child's play. Because the solenoid valves they're just cubes. It's just cubes on cubes.
Yeah, no, it's fucking. I don't know, man. I just fucking. I think it's like it's weird because like I can draw and shit. Like I don't want to like say I'm some kind of fucking Picasso or anything, but I can draw pretty well, and like it's easy like for me to like create like a scene and objects and stuff like on a piece of paper. But like I don't know, man. My brain just doesn't function on a 3D plane.
Well, I think if you're able to draw what you want,
yeah, I know.
But if you can like draw what you want, that's like half the battle.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just fucking the shapes and measurements and like fucking it's all that bullshit. I would just rather fucking do it on a like I wish I could just draw it on a piece of paper, and then like there's like a scanner, like take a 3D scanner and scan my picture and then boom, there it is.
Well, I'm so invested in you learning how to use like Fusion. Like I've offered before and like the offer still stands that I'll show you like what I do and like how I approach things. But I'm like, if you just maybe you could just like send me one of your designs and I'll try to like translate it into a 3D model for you.
Okay. And yeah, I mean we can even do what's that shit that they do like when tech support wants to help you
like
on your computer.
Like log me in or the remote access.
Kind of. Yeah, remote access. You can remote access my computer and give me a tutorial, and I'll just be watching and like, okay, yeah, and then we'll be talking. So that'll be a way better tutorial for me, I think, than fucking watching a YouTube people.
Sure, I'm down whenever.
Yeah. All right, for sure. We'll get to it then, because I need to learn that. I think if I do learn it, my designs will get a lot better and more sophisticated. Plus, I got me some new electronic calipers. I'm really excited about.
Oh hell yeah! Did you get the Husky ones?
Yes, I did.
Oh, hell yeah! I think they're so heavy. That's like half the value for me. Is they're just they're, like chunky.
Yeah, they feel good in the hand. Like you're like, man, I'm gonna make something today. I feel like an architect.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. No. Fucking. God. So I have. Yeah, I'm gonna go off a little topic, but there's been some like crazy shit going on in the RLSH community that I've been seeing.
Isn't there always something?
Oh yeah, but no, it's getting out of hand, yo. Like fucking like there's like RLSH people being exposed as like pedophiles and shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I am not involved in that shit at all because I do not ever want to be confused with an RLSH vigilante.
See, I perfectly agree, and this whole podcast is full of not that right now. So,
absolutely,
why are you bringing this in?
You know what? That's a good question.
Okay.
But no, fucking no, man. Like, what the reason why is because like. I did not realize how much like pedophilia is in this community, yo. Like it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. Like there's a lot of predators pretending to be fucking 16-year-old fucking kids, and it's crazy, man. It's like that shit's coming down. And I'm not gonna name drop, but there are people in the community that are like working with the FBI right now, and like,
Oh wow.
yeah, like it's getting like serious.
You being like, I'm not gonna name drop. It's me.
No, hell no, it's not me. But I mean, I'm definitely, I really got involved with this when somebody sent me that whole spider bat stuff.
Yep. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and that's what really got me involved. And like, I used some of my own resources and some of my own stuff to do some investigation, and I got to a conclusion with that, and I reported it to the authorities and shit. But like, man, that really like fucking opened a door, dude. Like, I did not know. And like, as an adult, I somewhat have to like, I feel like I have a responsibility to like at least keep an eye out, because it's like, holy shit, it's fucking, oh man.
What are we talking
like,
about?
Pedophilia in the RLSH
I was like,
community.
is that what the spider bat thing was about? Or
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't remember that, yo?
I
Fucking
no.
So, I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, something like that. Right, Slayer? It was somewhere around that time.
Yeah, somewhere about.
Yeah,
that.
there was somebody sent me a bunch of screenshots of this person called Spiderbat RLSH, and the messages of the screenshots consisted of this person asking a 14-year-old kid, like knowing it was a 14-year-old kid, for pictures of his genitalia and for pictures of his younger sister's genitalia. And this kid, reached out to a lot of, I guess, other people in the community, and yeah, that's when I got involved. And I just started doing my own research, and one thing led to another, and I started finding out some information, and finally I figured out who it was, and then I just reported them to the online child cyber crime, and then the FBI, and then their local police department. And yeah,
Whoa.
that really opened my eyes to all this stuff. And now, like, because after I did that, there were a couple pages that followed me of I don't really want to call them RLSH, because that's really not what they are, but they specifically are like online pedophile hunters. Like, picture Chris Hansen, but some type of superhero like persona,
Sure.
Gotcha.
And some of them actually have like a lot of, I guess I don't want to say like they've done a lot of stuff that has actually led to an actual conviction of a person because of the fact that they were a predator towards children, and now, because just started following them, after they started following me, just kind of keeping up and keeping watch with it. It's like almost every other day there's like one of these people gets exposed as like a fucking and they follow us, and that's like the crazy part about it too, man. Like, they're all over the fucking place, and it's just I guess Instagram in itself is having a big problem with that, and I'm honestly thinking about like going all automatic on Instagram, like having auto messages and just schedule posting and not being as active anymore, because
Yeah, well, that's why I got rid of my DMs. They're all private.
yeah, it's just it's getting too fucking much for me.
Yeah,
It's just,
that's why I don't like to get too involved with that. Well, not, I guess, group work. I prefer to do things on my own for the most part.
well, yeah,
I
like,
mean, there are a lot of reasons, not just because of like predators, but because some of the people in this community can be a little bit toxic.
Yeah.
oh my god.
which this is almost like a podcast, like documenting the toxicity of specific people in the community. But I don't think that this is, I feel like being that this is at a certain level, like a Spider-Man community, not just like an invention community. I think we are going to attract both children and then as a result, like the people who want to prey on children.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too like cliche with it, but like we're all adults here, right?
Yeah.
So like we have the power to watch out for these people, these kids who are part of the community. And so I think we also maybe then have the responsibility to watch out. You know what I mean? You pick up what I'm putting down?
That's exactly how I felt in that Spider-Bat situation.
Right, but you've got, I'd say that your skill set is more towards the investigative side. I've seen a lot of accounts, actually, where it's like that's their RLSH mission, is to document and get these people off of the internet where they can prey on kids. Because that is like I remember back when like Musical.ly was a thing.
What is that?
Musical.ly was like the
like
TikTok before TikTok. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I do know what you're talking
And it was
about.
like something that was just widely spoken about, where it's like, oh yeah, Musical.ly, yeah, that's for teenagers and pedophiles. And so I think like I understand not wanting to like get involved in it. I really don't want to, like, it's something I want to like keep out of my life because it is like soul toxic to me.
Yeah, no, it is.
But I think that we do have an obligation for being like the older brother type figure to a lot of these people who could be targeted.
Yeah, you honestly took the words out of my mouth, because that's exactly what I felt like in that situation.
Well, and you did a great job. I think we could all strive to be like you, or like there are people who, it's like their whole account, they have their little like spider persona, but they're like, hey, watch out for this person, report this person.
Well, and another thing, like, I mean, there's this one person that I, know and talk to. He actually like confronted somebody, and it was like crazy. And that the video is posted like on Instagram. You guys can go watch.
Confronted in real life?
Yeah. And it was intense. It was fucking no violence happened. Nobody got hurt or anything like that. But it was pretty crazy, man. It was honestly, it was like it looked like a movie, to be completely honest, but it was real. And it was like, this dude could have gone either direction, and it was just a very high stakes situation that, he tracked this guy down and just went out and fucking, he pretty much Chris Hansen'd him, like, for real,
right.
Like he pretended to be a female underage online to bait this guy. And then he showed up with a bunch of cameras, fucking in outfit, and fucking pretty much threatened the dude's life.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like
the Brazil kid. You guys remember that news story?
Oh my God.
That guy,
the kid that dressed up.
That kid is the real life Spider-Man to me. I don't care what anyone says. That's some real shit. Because he like whooped his ass.
He beat the hell out of that motherfucker. Do you know what we're talking about, Human Spider?
Sounds familiar, but I can't.
There was a kid in Brazil that, like, he baited this online predator guy that he was like this little girl, underage, like 14-year-old girl. And when he set up the meetup spot, the kid showed up in a Spider-Man mask and beat the shit out of the guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think I saw that.
Oh man. Oh, that was great. That was a good read.
Right. We don't have to go that far, but I think like keeping a little bit of that energy is probably good for us, and for, I think a lot of my followers are probably like younger.
Oh yeah, I know mine are. I definitely know mine are. And if you guys ever do come in contact with that stuff, you can message me about it. But message an adult first. Get the police involved if it gets out of hand like that.
Well, I've been trying to report shit on Instagram, but Instagram does not agree with the stuff that I've been reporting recently. Like it doesn't find it to be. Yeah, I was talking to Spider Gadget about it because he was like, "Hey, this would have been like a month or so ago." He was like, "Hey, if you're under 18, don't go to Ray Park's, the Darth Maul actor. Don't go to his account because he's posted some real bad shit on there." And I went there and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's bad." And so I reported it, and Instagram was like, "We haven't found that this actually goes against our guidelines." And I'm like, "You did not look at what I reported."
What was it?
Like straight up a point of view, like blowjob video on the account from the official actor who played Darth Maul. So someone who's going to be followed by children.
Wow.
And I reported it, and I even sent it to Spider Gadget. I was like, "Yo, Instagram says that shit's okay." And I think this is all speculation, but I think there was a thing that he was hacked.
Yeah, that's strange. That's very out of character. Why the fuck would he do that?
Right. Well, it was so random, and it was up for like several hours too. So it wasn't like, it seemed very strange. But all this is just to say, like, Instagram, like, you can report it to Instagram. That might not do it for a lot of these people, or for a lot of these things that we're finding. But like, definitely there's a community where you can like spread the word and be like, "Hey, watch out for this, report this, see what we can do, try to get in touch with someone at Instagram about it."
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. Let me do these mid-rolls really quick, and then we can get off of this fucking grim topic.
Hell
yeah. I might have to get going.
Oh yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Well then, let's do these mid-rolls, and then me and Spider Slayer can finish this out.
Yes.
If you guys want to see any more of the stuff that we're talking about, be sure to subscribe to the Human Spider and Spider Slayer's YouTube accounts, and also go follow them on their Instagram accounts. Human Spider also has a Patreon where he has his STL files content, so be sure to go check that out if you're interested. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more gadgets, webfluid, and weekly podcasts with the best of the best. This is all made possible because of listeners and viewers like you. So we are back with Spider Slayer and the Human Spider. Gentlemen, let's get off of that grim topic. And I know Human Spider says that he has to go in a little bit, so maybe we can close out with another question for Human Spider. How about we take one of your YouTube questions?
Most of them aren't that great.
Right. I was thinking that too. I was like, as the biggest member of this community who's like active, he's going to be taking the brunt of the shitstorm that is the YouTube comment system.
Yeah. Can your holds? Can your webs hold up?
Yeah.
Can you swing on your webs? No. No.
Well, there. Can you swing on your webs? And why not?
Because no.
I think to answer that question, also, you just have to go onto YouTube and watch like tire swing fail compilations.
Yeah.
The human body was not meant to swing. Not at all.
No. I mean, one of the biggest reasons for that is of our blood and our blood flow, our circulatory system. We have a closed circulatory system. Spiders don't fucking have that. Spiders have an open circulatory system. Spiders don't even have blood. Spiders have fucking hemolymph, which is pretty much a fancy way of saying bug blood. And they have this little fucking muscle sac that just like can spread that out and distribute it to their body wherever it needs to go instinctively based on how their body is. And that's something that humans cannot do.
Spider silk video. Yeah, that was back in high school.
When you were doing all that research?
That video answers a lot of questions that I still get asked. No one.
Oh yeah, I know. But I mean, we've already established how unwilling,
which is ironic
because
this is a hobby that is like 50% of this is research.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I would say more than 50% of this is research. What are you talking about? All right, let's see. We're going to go to your latest video and see if we can get a good question. Okay, here's a decent one. This one is by S. Ronan. Hello, Human Spider. I love the video. I have a question. I'm making web fluid formula based on this one, but I need to make it stronger to work with a better refrigerant that I found. It's called R410A, but I don't know if it's a good idea to mix it with the formula.
Oh, I'm not
Do you think it would work?
familiar with this refrigerant. As long as if it doesn't
Yeah,
contain
I've
the
never heard of that either.
tetrafluoroethane, then it probably won't work because that's a key ingredient because it works as both a solvent and a propellant. So, I mean, I guess you could try it, but I don't think it'll work. But then again, I'm not familiar with that refrigerant.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if it contains, first of all, you
Yeah,
need to
that's
make
it.
sure that it's safe. And second of all, you would need to make sure that it contains 1112 tetrafluoroethane, because that is the chemical that dissolves the polymer.
oh no.
I found a really good one. For field use, how would one incorporate a
Field use?
sedative into the web? For if an opponent, for field use, how would
Oh my
how
God, a
would one
sedative? Like,
incorporate a sedative
are
into
you
the
trying
web?
to?
For if an opponent is larger, or more skilled. I'm not great with chemistry. This one is from not
Sedative?
comic
Like,
book
do you want
accurate
them? Are
YouTube.
you trying to get them to consume the fluid, or like you're gonna somehow inject it into them?
Fuck if I know. This is
For field use?
for a field
Oh,
use. I don't know. What are you gonna do in the field if an opponent is larger or more
I'd say. Well, I
skilled?
mean, it's more for. I guess it can come in handy as like something like a distraction. I guess no one's gonna expect you shooting like web lines out of your wrist at people. Gives you, I guess, the upper hand.
That's true.
Yeah, that surprise factor. Um, what else? I guess you could temporarily blind someone with it, as long as I guess with the fluid that I currently have, because it's not, it's pretty cohesive to itself that it won't like. If you get it on someone's clothes, it'll stick to the clothes, but you could also peel it off. It's not gooey enough to like start seeping into the fabric.
So more
So
cohesive than adhesive, you're saying?
it's more cohesive than adhesive, yes. So that's, I guess, kind of,
Yeah.
I guess that's good for like, if you do get it in your eyes, like, if anything, it'll be kind of like getting soap in your eyes, I guess, because of the surfactant. I don't know.
Probably a little worse.
Maybe a little worse, but not much worse. It'll probably irritate your eyes.
I have a feeling all the
Too much
eyeball
else.
testing will be accidental.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what, you had a mask, you had a face mask. I was gonna say, Blood Spider's already had some experience with something similar.
Yeah, but he was all PPE'd up. He was good.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
OSHA compliant for web shooter related
Yes.
testing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Oh god. I'm gonna do that again with the pepper spray fluid.
Just have
with
like
a bare
some
face. So
have a gallon of milk
ready
and
for
some
that
saline.
video.
Maybe get some antacid. Follow like protest rules.
Yeah, I heard I heard honey mixed with like warm water is actually like the best for
I saw
pepper
like
spray.
there was like a Michael Stevens Vsauce video with the dude from Hot Ones about what is the best thing to eat for like spicy foods, because yours uses like a capsaicin extract, right?
Yeah. It's oh my god, it's just everything hot in my Mexican wife
So
fucking pantry.
you need a good detergent, and some yogurt, some baby shampoo and yogurt, I think. Yeah,
Some yogurt?
because it does the same thing as like
Dairy,
milk,
yeah.
but it's thick. But
Yeah,
the baby
okay.
shampoo is a detergent, which apparently breaks down the capsaicin.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna put that on the side then, because I'm gonna probably use everything and then jump in the pool.
I've got, if I can just chime in really quick, I've got like a chaotic evil answer for the sedative
Yeah.
question. I'm not sure if I should legally say what I'm thinking in my brain.
It's all right. Just
Well,
say it, and if it's bad,
I
I'll
used to
edit it
vape
out.
after I quit smoking, but I've quit vaping. But so nicotine can be absorbed through your skin.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
and
a lot of nicotine is lethal.
I see.
Enough nicotine, you could give someone a pretty debilitating, like, nick sick headache.
Yeah, well, and yeah, even more will make them physically sick, and they'll have fucking diarrhea, vomiting, convulsions. There's a very thin line. That's why they tell you when you make your own vape juice to wear gloves and fucking.
Yeah, at that point, let's just
have
put in
somebody
a
in the
little bit of
house.
hydrochloric inside the fluid.
Sure.
Just give them some burns, chemical burns.
What? One of my buddies had an idea with your double barrel lighter web shooter human spider. It was to have pressurized liquid chlorine in one, and then pressurized liquid bleach in the other.
Mustard gas web shooter, new video.
Oh my god!
Geneva Convention violating web shooter. What a clickbait thumbnail that would be.
Yep. Oh my god. That'll have 1 million views overnight, and then I'll be in jail in a federal prison by the morning.
So. Strong enough for making that type of content.
All right. So here's the last one, because this is a long one. Okay, so this one is by Destiny. I Love You is the name of this, and it says, okay, so I have a dumb idea for a web fluid. You take 2 nylon fibers, lay them parallel to each other. Then you take a second fiber, you wrap it around the 2 fibers in a vertical spiral, then tighten it. You end up with a nylon rope with small holes between the fibers and a hollow middle. You fill the middle with the same material used to make super glue, and fill in the holes so it's basically nylon rope with the sticking strength of super glue, which can hold literally a ton. Cyanoacrylate to make the web stick to surfaces, maybe nylon fiber as a base structure. Use the fiber to create a cylinder base structure with the space between the fiber itself filled with the cyanoacrylate, as well as in the middle of the fiber.
At that point, you just have a rope with a sticky rope.
Sticky rope.
That you could probably only use like twice before that glue just sticks to something and doesn't want to let go. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not a web fluid. That's a rope.
I don't really understand what the
question was that posted by Red Technology Industries? Do you know what I'm talking about, though? He had this whole like spindle thing.
Dude.
I do know.
You know that dude.
That's why he's suggesting
it. Yeah. I mean, I can't understand what he's saying in his videos at all, but I just see that he tries to make himself look like Tom Holland as best as he can, and he makes.
Who is that guy?
Fake web shooters.
It's a Russian channel. He's got a video where I think the thumbnail is like his thread making
inside
system.
A tube. Is it like, it looks like it's got a CO2 cartridge or something?
Right, but I think his whole thing is.
It's a clear cartridge.
It's like
you
clear
can see the string inside. Yeah. No,
but his whole thing is it's CA glue, though.
Yeah.
Is his thing, and he like hangs from it, and he's got like a little like wind up like silk making apparatus, like a loom adjacent thing, with like I honestly like I'm with you, Blood. I don't know what he's saying, and the YouTube auto translation captions are just enough for me to know that it's super glue. But it seems like something he'd be trying to do.
The video that I saw wasn't even. It didn't even have any captions available in English. It was all Russian or nothing. And I'm like, fuck. Well, I don't understand what this guy's saying, but I know that it's a lie. So goodbye. I'm gonna go watch a different video. Probably one of the human spiders.
Yes.
Good. Yes. Yeah.
More subscribers.
Yeah, dude, you're doing great
Yeah, and
on
isn't it
subscribers.
funny? I haven't uploaded in like a
Let's see
month.
what you're officially at.
I've got a couple projects I haven't finished.
Well, you've always stuck out as more of a quality over quantity type guy
Yeah,
anyway.
I prefer that. I don't really like to
Yeah.
stick to trends or do anything because I do things because I want to, and not because it's popular or whatever. It's fun,
Yeah. Yeah, and you're goddamn good at it.
I think that's not something anyone could argue with. You're definitely like the top in your field.
Yeah, okay.
Humble as well.
There's definitely I like humility. Yeah, I don't know. I do things. Anyone can do the stuff that I do. There's people out there that do way better things. I'm just just doing my thing.
Well, I don't know, man. I think that this is a pretty cool thing to be doing. And fucking, I would definitely say in the class of the web shooter class of 2020, Human Spider got valid Victorian.
Seconded.
So Slayer, how long you been around in the community as an observer and as a fellow maker?
I have been in the community since I was 17. I remember doing this shit in high school as well. That's, oh my God. In my brain, I've been always like looking up to you guys. And I like the shit that you guys were able to put out when you must have been.
Don't look up to me.
I look up to you, Blood. Don't even come at me with that shit. But like I have trouble making a YouTube video now. I can't even imagine the kind of YouTube video I would have made being like 17 when I started.
Yeah.
I think I was, 25?
Okay. 25.
Yeah, I got into it late, yo.
Oh well. You got further in fluids than I did.
Yeah, I tried. I really, really tried. And I'm still going to keep trying.
This is definitely like it feels like a long-term relationship situation with the Spider-Man community.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like I was talking to someone and I was like, I was talking to Huntsman actually, and I was like, these projects are like, if I think of my mind as like a stove, right? I've got like stuff that's on the front burner and then stuff that's on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that's so rewarding about this is like just walking around with just thinking of stuff like when you got a little free time, just think about some things. Maybe like in your career, your job, you'll work somewhere and you'll be like, hey, this is a really interesting adhesive that we're using here. I wonder how it would go with this or in a web fluid, or maybe if you work at like a gas station or something, you'll see, oh, hey, look at these valves that we're using here for like refilling car tires or all like whatever. And it's one of those things where it's like part of what is so rewarding to me about this is that the fact that I can have it in the back burner and I can always just like
yeah. See something. Sorry, go on.
I see it like an art though a little bit where it's like you always walk around with new ideas. Maybe you come up with something. Maybe you just like trying to express a concept. I don't know.
Yeah, something that kind of reminds me of is that sorry, something that people don't seem to get just by seeing one video that pops up on their feed that's from the community is that this is an ongoing project that we're constantly like developing and innovating in, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything
That's
that
why I
we
have
made is a
so many.
prototype.
You're constantly improving. Yeah, so some people just come in and they're like, "Oh no, this is." You always have those people that are like, "Oh wow, like can you swing from this or that?" And then those people that are like, "You're never going to be able to do that or whatever." And it's kind of like it's an ongoing thing. It's not like I'm not like this is the final version or yeah.
I'm gonna go to my channel really quick and see if I can find this comment. Keep talking because it's gonna take me a second. But this is
Well,
hilarious.
I'm glad that the people in the community who are like really active have like the realistic standards about it, and it's
Yeah.
like you and Amazing have worked so hard and like tirelessly on making like a good valve. I imagine you would get comments from people who are like, well, okay, but like, can you swing on it? Like, do you have spider sense yet? And you're like, bro, I have been working so hard on making something that can open and close.
Like it's so, but it's more than that. Like if you look at the big picture, yeah, you want the web swinging, web shooting web balls, or like all these things from like the comics or the movies. But like you gotta work your way up slowly. First, you gotta figure out a valve. No, actually, first you gotta kind of no, you kind of have to figure out the valve and the fluid at the same time. They have to be sort of designed for each other. That's one
Right.
big thing I learned from Spider Device, and it's so true from all the trial and error. I've made web shooters, and then I've made web fluids, and then I've noticed that some of them aren't compatible due to like just the chemistry or viscosities. There's so many things that conflict. You gotta think about both at the same time. And then once you've got that down, then you can move on to like spinnerets, either interchangeable nozzles or even motorized. But then when we get a little bulkier, because you got to think about batteries, you got to think about maybe gears, a
Right.
whole
Putting a
bunch of other stuff.
PCB somewhere, and then
Yes,
that comes with
exactly.
all the hardware and the wiring. And
Yes, that's why we stuck. That's why me and the Amazing stuck to mechanical stuff because we figured out early on that yeah, once you start introducing some electronic trigger system, you have to think about the power supply, the battery, all this stuff. Uh, Here's a little tease. That's why we've been working on a power pack, which you should be seeing shortly.
oh yeah,
That's
no,
another project.
I
That's
remember
so
Very
that we
excited
could
for that.
you
go
talked
on.
about that on the one with the Amazing. It was the three-way with you and the Amazing and Blood.
Ah, yes, probably. Yeah, it's gonna help us eliminate any type of like batteries or power source for any gadgets that you want to put onto your suit. Um, yeah, it's actually not that
Yeah, that's
compact.
dope.
Should actually tonight I should be testing some things with it, but yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well,
hell
you'll
yeah,
see the
take a
video.
video, yo.
It's gonna be in it.
Post that shit.
Um, but yeah, it's yeah.
All right.
There's so many.
Hey, really quick, going back to what we were talking about previously about the, people talking about, thinking that these
Yeah.
are just like the finalized thing. So this is on my preformed web shooter video, and this comes from Heaven's Hound is the person, and it is too bad you all just make these and don't actually use them, but it seems good, fun, pointless waste of time. Superhero role play where you make these hero things as real as possible, but just wear / never use them. You create these to simply walk around, dumb as fuck.
Right.
And I'm like, what am I going to use them for? Battle ready formula hasn't been made yet aside from pepper spray. And he's like, you and your friends clearly have skills, and last I checked, pepper spray is legal and non-deadly. You could stop vandals, punks, or rogue homeless that have become a threat, or subdue them until police arrive. I hate to say it, but with great power comes great. You get the idea. You you are skilled, man, and you guys probably could make a difference. So, there's people that I'm not going to go and read the whole thing. You guys can do that in your spare time if you want. But there's fucking, a lot of people that think that these are like just ready to go. You know, you can go out and fight crime with these fucking foam in a can and fucking, you know, like, and that's just some other stuff that I'm not going to get into with, you know, delusional people. But
That's something we've been trying to do is trying to make things more durable and more reliable and actually, you know, like usable, like convenient, sort of. We tried doing something practical with
yeah,
like the bowler app web shooter, which is like, you know, you could actually like, tie someone up with that and actually like prevent them from
yeah,
running away, or like what what Spidey kind of does in like the comics, you know, web someone up.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And there they stay until police arrive.
Prevent them from getting away.
Right, but this was you know actively, or this was implying to actively go,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
search out for it, like us and
No.
specific, you know, to go.
Yeah,
search
I
out
see
for
it as
this
like
stuff.
cosplay plus. So it's like it's a little bit of like you're having fun dressing up like your favorite webhead, but you're also like there's a little bit more like functionality there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got a lot of problems with the people he was saying we should go out and find. For starters, punks and the homeless. I don't think so. You shouldn't arrest homeless people for not having a home.
Yeah. Just gonna go pepper spray a homeless guy just because he's sitting down. Like, you know what, motherfucker? Fuck you. Like,
right?
Damn,
you
man, you sound like you're the
in,
bad
Spider-Man
guy. What the
PS4
hell?
where he spends his free time working at a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's funny, but I digress. That's it's just they're not anywhere close to being ready right now to anything close to a self-defense standard, aside from one of the bowler wrap shooters or this one that I'm gonna make with the pepper spray. But that's other than that, no. And I guess to answer your question, Heaven's Hound,
unless you
consider
consider that little like police clip of them being like, "Hey, here's a Ebola rap shooter that works and like could be used." And I don't know if they're actually, I don't know what the status is of them actually being used, like quote unquote, in the field.
I don't think they're.
Well,
sorry, yeah.
A Human Spider. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, yeah, they are actually being used in the field. They're in Oregon and Washington as far as in the United States goes. I'm not sure about Canada.
I don't think they're for civilian use. Yeah. Right? They're not accessible.
No, they're not. They're just police. No.
Yeah, right. You're allowed to own a firearm.
Bullshit.
You're not allowed to own
counterproductive as fuck. Like,
device.
It's also with like
Well, correct.
No, you
correct
start.
me if I'm wrong. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Spider. Correct me if I'm wrong, Human Spider, because you've actually probably done a little bit more research on these things than I actually have. But doesn't the actual one that the police have, isn't the rope itself a magnetic?
No. As far as
thing
I'm aware,
it's
I believe it's a Kevlar rope with two heavy metal weights at the end that are like the two sort of probes with the hooks on them. That they basically, so that they have enough momentum, so that the way the bowler wrap works, it's like they kind of extend outwards, the rope hits you, and they wrap around you. And the more mass they have, the tighter and quicker they'll wrap around you. Yeah, it's essentially just a rope with two weights.
Okay. Yeah, and then is it also is it combustion
blanks
propelled off of the
bullets? Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
And that makes sense because
so
like
it's black
tasers are powered by small explosives too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could see more cops using bowler wrap web shooters in Portland right now, but we don't need to get into that.
Yeah,
you guys are.
Yeah, it's crazy out there, man.
On fire. It's. Yeah.
Yeah, we were bad for a while with that too. Chicago, it was fucking. It was getting crazy out here. It still is in some parts. It's still fucking just like destroyed, and like cops aren't
It just
even
like
rolling
goes
through there or
to
anything.
show why vigilante justice and taking things into your own hands is not. It's not a good thing to do. It's not a safe thing to do, and you can just end up escalating.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just to say to all the kids out there who are like, "Oh, are you moonlight as a crime fighter?" It's like, no, that's a bad idea. Well, it's pretty much always going to be a bad idea.
Yep. Yep. That's why my most hated superhero or person of Marvel Comics is Frank Castle. Yep. I hate that motherfucker, especially after fucking War of the Realms. I don't know if you guys read War of the Realms. Like, totally just butchered Frank Castle, in my opinion, because like Frank Castle just wants revenge on his fucking family's murderers. You know, he at least originally he wasn't all like fucking I'm gonna kill everybody. You know, he had some type of humility to him, but now it's just like, nope, he kills fucking petty drug dealers and fucking whatever for the name of vigilante because he's pissed off and badass.
Well, I'd hate to.
That's my Punisher rant.
Cut you off, Blood, but I have to get going.
No, you're good. That's cool. Well, thank you much, Human Spider, for joining this week. Everybody, make sure you go follow him on all his social media and check out his Patreon because he's got really cool exclusive stuff for you there. But yeah, man, thank you much. You're free to go.
It was great to meet you.
Thank you. No, yeah, you too. Hope to talk again. Like your stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Later, guys.
I mean,
there is
well, and then there
a
were
little bit
two.
of a problem on. I don't know if it's your end or what it is, but there's a little bit of cutting out.
Well, you know what I think it might be? I think it might be the length of the podcast. So let me stop it, and I'm going to just send you another link.
That was like super great. I'm so glad I got the chance to talk to him.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's so awesome.
He's like super chill and down to earth. I have some things that I would like to talk to you about. I have a little bit of a topic starter. I came to you like a month ago now. I don't even know how long it's been. And I asked if I could make a villain tech video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken me forever because, making a YouTube video is very hard. A lot harder than you would think it is.
Yeah, no,
but
it is.
Villain tech, Villain Claws should be coming out within the next like week, at least a trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm
super excited.
I've developed the proof of concept. I've turned it into a working prototype.
Like,
and I've got it all made. I just need to print one more part. It's actually a hose coupler.
Oh, hell yeah!
But that was my big source of frustration today because I've been trying to do it, but I've been procrastinating because it's basically like a 4-to-1 like vinyl hose like junction coupler. I don't know exactly.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that should be, I should have that up on my YouTube channel, at least a trailer of it within the next week.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Good. It's about time.
Yeah, honestly. And like, this goes back to making YouTube videos, like Human Spider's production quality in like his early, like I'm thinking of like the evaporation shooter.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff it's so good and it looks easy, but I'm sitting here now and I was trying to do trying to film the build portions. And I wanted like the top down camera angle of like my little workspace here.
Yeah.
And I just had like a paint stick taped to a shelf and I taped my phone to the paint stick. But then of course I'm trying to look at the screen. Like I have like video cameras like that I can film with, but actually producing a video, I understand why people take so long to do it, and I feel so bad because I expected that this would be a quick turnaround thing. But yeah, Villain Claws should be out pretty soon, and it's something that it's an idea I've had in my brain almost as long as web shooters. With like
Really?
having like automatic, like retractable, like deployable,
Like talons, yeah.
yeah, like talons. And it was actually one of the things that really led me to want to build it was reading Superior Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, those.
Yeah,
That's right.
and same with I actually have a panel that I'm including in the video of uh, Spider-Man 2099 Miguel,
Yeah.
because he's got those too, and they both have them, and it's such a good
Aren't his poisonous?
Miguel's.
Yeah. Or doesn't he have some type of poison?
Maybe I know that Ox they have nanobots in them,
Maybe that's
and that's like why he has the claws, is so he can inject people with the little nanobots. It was
maybe that's what it was.
such a good comic, though. I feel bad that I haven't read other Spider-Man comics, but I like stayed up all night, read the whole thing in like one sitting.
Do you listen to Comic Story at all? Do you know who that
I
is?
do, yeah.
Yeah.
And like Comics Explained too.
Yeah, Comics Explained is good, Rob. Yeah, he's the shit.
Yeah, he is.
Fucking if you there is what the hell is this guy's name? He does pretty much what Benny does at Comic Historian, but he does it a little bit more in depth. And like almost like breaks down like the panels a little bit better as he's like reading them. And fuck, I can't forget his name. I'm subscribed to him. I'll send you a link later. But he's really good, and he's been on like a Spider-Man kick recently. Like his last videos for like past 2 months are all Spider-Man.
That's awesome.
And they're just great comics. He's got Kraven's Last Hunt. He's got fucking Lethal Protector and like that whole Carnage storyline, and with Cletus and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's just super dope. I'll send you the link later.
Yeah, I'll be super interested in looking at it. I feel so bad that I never got into the comics. My mom, I think I said this on the last podcast I was on with you, where it's like my mom had them, but she had all of the like female. She had like She-Hulk and Spider-Woman and all that, and I like was too young to really be able to like take in both the storyline and the visuals at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's such a like a wealth of like reference information and like ideas on things that you could turn into real prototypes.
No, for real, dude. Sorry, I'm hitting this bolt. Fucking I have been looking into because Taskmaster has these. They're like it's a grenade that like it's like a whip grenade. Like it literally it's just for incapacitation, but it almost like sends out these fucking like small cords that like behave like tentacles.
Okay, like it would be like what are they, like a cat of nine tails? I'm not sure.
Kind of, yeah, but just like way more on crack. And like if you get hit one of these, it's not gonna like fucking kill you by any means, but it's probably gonna draw some blood, you know. It's just like a one of those like steel cables, you know, and it's just like it'll whip you with it, but a bunch of them all over the place.
Sure.
Actually, yeah, that's what I wanted to try and make, but like spring loaded, you know.
Right. I've been in making the video, like I showed Huntsman. I include so much like reference material because like retractable claws are so like commonplace in this kind of media. So like just looking right now, I have a clip of from X-Men Origins of Sabretooth.
Oh hell yeah!
And I've got a lot of Black Panther. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, that shit hurted. But like I've got Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman in here too.
Oh hell yeah!
And I don't think her claws are retractable, but I know like in the comics, like Catwoman and Black Cat both have like retractable claws.
Batman Beyond.
Yeah, sure.
Batman Beyond's got those retractable clocks.
But she's got a whip, and I haven't. It's been so long since I've seen that particular one. It was so cool to watch all the scenes with her whip.
Yeah.
It feels like an underutilized thing. I know like Hacksmith made a Wonder Woman lasso thing, but that was like
I don't
whips.
think I've seen that.
Have you not seen it?
Mm-mm.
Well,
Yeah,
I
no, I don't
would
think so.
I would check it out if I were you. And then I know like Jay Laser made a taser one too, which is also pretty neat. But like whips as a self-defense tool are so interesting to me, because I think that I heard somewhere that the whip was like the first man-made object to ever break the speed of sound, break the sound barrier.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
is like,
That's what
you're
the
right.
crack
That's
is,
like,
yeah.
oh, it blew my mind. I love the little like the physics of these different like devices that are so like simple. And I don't know if a whip is like one moving part or no moving parts, but it's like, I imagine you could definitely make something like that with a tentacle, like almost have it be like a hand at the end that'll like bola wrap around. I'm like way overdue on making a bola web shooter.
Dude, I've been playing around with the Amazings, and it's actually really cool, like design, because I stole it from him when we were filming. And no, it's actually a pretty cool design. It's I think it needs a little bit more than spring pressure, but I do think that the projectile itself, having it, that one main projectile that harnesses the string and stuff, I think that a spring being in between that is a good idea, especially a really strong one, because that's just going to make the cord fly out into a horizontal line. You know what I mean?
Have you seen Alan Pan's newest video about
No.
he made a mask gun, like a face mask gun?
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes.
that I love to see. Like one of his web shooter project was one that I was super interested in, because he started out by making like a grappling hook gun. Like his first prototype was not a web shooter, but it was like a successful other thing, which is like, it's super cool to see him still focusing on that concept.
Yeah, no, he actually replied to one of my comments and then followed me. I don't think he followed me, but he commented on something, and I was like geeking out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that man is a legend. I think that he should definitely be on your list of like the goals to have on your podcast.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He is, because that dude is a genius. I would be like intimidated interviewing him. I mean, he seems really cool.
Yeah, he seems pretty like down to earth, and he's like, I feel like he's got such an eclectic knowledge of all these different types of things. It's like one of the reasons why I like the web shooter project so much, is that it takes a little bit of mechanics, a little bit of physics, it takes some chemistry. You can get into like the plumbing, the Arduino of it all. You can get into that.
Yeah.
He's definitely got like a very roundabout knowledge. He'd be a good person to just like bounce ideas off of. Plus, as like definitely. The YouTube space, I know you crawled your way up to 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah.
I'm super proud of you for that. That's like,
yeah, dude, thank you. It was a big achievement, man. I was super, super happy about it. We threw a little get together because I was super happy about it.
Well, I would too, man, honestly.
Yeah, dude, it was a big achievement, man. I'm you know what made it better is that like I got there on my own, like I didn't get any means, I didn't pull like an ion spider and fucking like lie to everybody or fucking, promise things that I wasn't going to do or buy views or subscriptions. I did it all naturally, fucking organically. I definitely promoted my own stuff, like I share my videos on Facebook to like Spider-Man pages and stuff like that, and I just try to go for that, like, self-promotion, self-marketing. But yeah, no, it was a really big achievement, man. I felt really good.
Yeah, you definitely should. That's definitely a big accomplishment now. I don't know like what the analytics are on like Spider-Man content right now, but I know like the big time was probably right before Civil War, right?
Yeah, I would say that was probably one of the bigger times when the Amazing Spider-Man 1 came out. That was like prime time web shooter content land.
Was that
man.
2012? Okay.
Yeah. I would say 2012 until like probably still the Amazing Spider-Man 2. So when did the Amazing Spider-Man 2
I want to
come
say
out?
like
2014.
2014.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like peaking, dude. Like there was a lot, like a lot. But then after that, that's when all the other stuff started taking over, the cardboard web shooters and what I think spawned that was Hero Tech. And, he not like he did anything wrong or anything like that, but he made the idea of a spring loaded string shooter a very plausible thing to do, and people just fucking took that idea and ran to the hills.
Well, yeah, and I think it's like a great concept. I think that's why other people like took hold of it. It's like a good concept, and like the design is simple enough that anybody can make it at home with like cardboard and a pen spring and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Was he the same? Was Hero Tech the one who? I feel like I saw a thing. It would have been a number of years ago now, but they had like that samurai watch from like AliExpress, the like Chinese. It's like a watch, a metal watch band without like a watch face on it, and the numbers shine via LED through the links.
I think that might have been. Oh, yes, that was Hero Tech.
I remember that. That was so long ago.
Yeah, and he also made like an auto reel like that rolls the cartridge up, because with his cartridges you have to manually like wind them on a load stick and then put them in, and then take the load stick out as you push this cover down and just like slot in your own string. But he had an earlier version of the Web 12 that was it had like a motor thing on it, like, and the cartridge itself had a reel, and it was a separate piece that you would just like put on, and it would spin the motor and turn the wheel backwards, and that would reel the cartridge.
I do remember that. That would have been a while ago, but it was like you'd put in this separate cartridge and you would wind it up, and then you could take it out and go back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool to see like from the background the like transformation and like the progress that these different makers are able to do on these projects.
Oh yeah. Well, even like Savior Gadgets made do you remember Human Spider's electromagnetic web shooter, the one that he made out of the camera?
I think so. It was like a coil gun, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much like a coil gun. Well, Savior Gadgets made one of those that is like really nice, really super small and great, and it like retracts so fast, and it's just like everything that it shoots out, it's just all right back in there like instantly. It's great.
I'll have to check that out.
I don't think he's ever posted it.
Has he not posted it?
I don't think so.
Message him then. See if he can find some old archived footage.
He's gonna be making a comeback soon. I was talking to him the other day. He's just been doing a bunch of other stuff in real life.
Oh well, yeah, and like I know that most of us are like education age, or like you, and have like, careers, and so I would assume like now would probably be a pretty hard time to get back into doing things, because it's like the start of like the school year.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, what's been fucking... We got fucked in that storm.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Like, I mean, like, our house really didn't, but, like, the power just was wiped out for fucking weeks, man.
Yeah, we lucked out where I am. We live pretty close together, like, relatively speaking. And I remember watching, like, the storm maps of it, and it, like, we got a tiny bit. We got, like, the crazy colored skies and a bit of, like, heavy rain, but we were pretty lucky where I'm at. But it seemed like it was one of those things where it was like at like the core of the storm, it was like super heavy, and I could totally imagine. I think I actually heard on like the radio that there were like 13,000 customers that had lost their power just in my immediate area.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy.
I can't even imagine like rebuilding for that, working at like an energy company.
Dude, these people fucking the on the end of my block there was a fucking like those concrete street light
Mm-hmm.
posts. There was one of those that fell down, and then like the house right in front of that, they had this fucking, I don't know what kind of tree it was, but it was a huge fucking tree, dude, and it just fell right on their house.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to plan my life to avoid as many natural disasters as I can, because I can't imagine living in like Louisiana or on the like southeastern part of the
Oh
country
man.
right now.
Yeah.
Everything is so like
Dude.
temporary down there.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, look at how bad when Katrina hit. Like, they literally had to like relocate people from New
Oh yeah, and I
Orleans.
wouldn't be surprised if they still weren't totally done with like reconstructing.
Hell no, no, that was terrible. But no, man, it's like we haven't had like a tornado like that in fucking years out here. Like, it used to be really bad, because there's this town that's like pretty much adjacent to Joliet, and it's called Plainfield, and this town was here like pretty much before like Joliet got gentrified and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But my family like lived in this town in like when it was just all cornfields and shit, and we used to get a lot of tornadoes like all the time because it was like that. There was one I remember that literally took like it wiped out my school,
Oh really?
and yeah, like fucking just destroyed it. And it was a long time ago, but we really don't get tornadoes like that anymore because they built so much stuff out there, like, and now there's like neighborhoods and stores and just all these huge buildings and stuff, now that like all that shit's there where the cornfields used to be. A tornado has a harder time farming there, so like that helped out, I guess. And now it's just like it was just really weird, because we haven't had a not like that. We've had some pretty high winds and some pretty bad storms and flooding and shit throughout the years, but no tornado has been like crazy like that, or anything like that has happened in a while, and that was nuts, man. That fucked up a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, and I have a feeling it's only going to get worse as more time passes. So
Yeah.
I feel like I want to take this creative energy for the web shooters and the like villain tech stuff, and I want to find a way to like transfer that over to being useful for like climate situations. Obviously, it's going to be a leap,
Huh.
but like having like not like a suit, but having like a go bag in case of like emergencies, and turning like the triggerless web shooters into like hand sanitizer dispensers. I feel like we're
Yeah.
we're at a situation where we can like people will come up and be like, okay, well you're doing all this, but you don't actually like use it. But I feel like we can take the technology and the advancements and we can like just pivot a little bit and turn it into something that can be useful. Like I know um, Max Brain Devices. He's
Mm-hmm.
working on he's also got like a Doc Ock arm going.
Yeah, his third
Right,
arm.
and
Yeah.
this is such a it wouldn't even be that far away from turning it into something that's like an actual prosthetic. And I know that they
No,
have
for
stuff
real.
like that, but I'm always like my brain is always going, and I know that there are ways that we can turn this stuff into stuff that'll actually like help people out a lot.
Well, I will give you an insider scoop, and this will probably get edited out of the podcast. But I am going at the end of this 1K video. There is going to be a huge fucking thing that happens. I'm pretty much doing a complete channel reboot and a complete fucking like overhaul, and I'm gonna do it in what I thought was a pretty clever way. So like my 1K video, I'm pretty much just like going through all the web shooters and testing them out, and talking about them and weighing out the pros and cons of each one, and what they might be best to work for and what they suck with, and fucking shit like
Sure.
that. And at the whole video, like I'm sitting in my chair, and the camera angles keep switching and stuff like that. And I'm looking through this bucket that's, just filled with my web shooters, and I'm just, taking them out one by one, putting the bucket down, throwing them back in there, grabbing a new one, just over and over again. This bucket's like a reoccurring thing in the video. And at the end, at the end of the video, all the web shooters are done and been tested out. I'm looking, through the bucket. I'm like, oh, I think I got them all. And I pull out this, like, what the fuck is this? And it's this fucking reset button. And I'm like, I'm going to 3D print it and everything. So it's like really big and, like a stupid cartoon looking reset button. And, then I'm just going to push it, not knowing what it is. And like that video camera is going to bleep out, of that. It's just going to fucking blip out. And then it's going to show my channel. And then that's going to blip out. And then the only 2 videos that are going to be on my channel for a while, for probably, I have hopefully as fast as I can fucking fix everything and just do the overhaul. But it's going to be the 1K video, and then I'm going to make a video pretty much like just on screen text that like channel is under heavy maintenance type shit. And because one of the biggest reasons why I want to do this is number one, I'm very close to monetization, and there was for a while I just didn't give a fuck about music and just posted what I listened to, so a lot of my videos are copyright stricken. A lot of my older videos are just bullshit that can be condensed, to get like the same point across, and they don't have a lot of view counts or anything like that, so they can just be condensed and or even just taken out. And I'm pretty much just gonna do a whole overhaul. But I am also making another channel, and that's going to be Blood Spider Industries.
Okay.
And at least that's what I think that's the running name that I have, like Spider Industries.
Right.
But that channel is going to be where I post the podcasts, and like the movie will probably be posted there. The more personal shit would be there, and while the Blood Spider channel would just remain for the gadgets. I don't know entirely if that's what I'm going to do yet, but I'm just trying to get a good separation and get my like filmmaking skills better on par with my web shooter making skills. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like you have a channel that is like your professional channel, and you could even like create a company about it. I'm sure that would help with monetization. I don't know much about that at all, but I think that it would be good to maybe like private or like archive your old stuff and make it like accessible still, but then have one channel that's like your showcase for like, this is the stuff that I want like to define me as a brand. And I did just now with my stupid pun brain, I thought of a good name that you might consider for a parent corporation. Oh yeah,
let's hear it.
Sticking with the blood theme. I've hit you with this before with like song titles and stuff. How about this? Hemoglobal. Like it's goofy, but I think it carries a little of your original essence in there.
Oh my god. Fuck, that's great.
But I hear you about like the music thing. In the video I'm working on right now, I use Redneck Stomp by Obituary. But ever since you wrote that like little theme song for me, and I've broken out my guitars and my amps and shit, and I want to start using like original music, because I know that I'm never gonna get to the point where I'm like making money off this. I don't foresee this.
Dude, that's what but that's what I thought too in the beginning, and now I'm here. So don't just take my advice and fucking do it now, so you don't have to worry about it later and do a channel review.
All right, well, I'll definitely start working on that. I want to get either like a Line 6 or I don't know, like an audio input thing, so that I can actually do it. And it's like playing music is one of those hobbies for me where it's like such a good like mind body exercise with like coordination and all that.
No, dude, it really is, man. It's But you know, that's another good thing about being self-taught is that like you get your own feel for it, you know, so you play your
Definitely.
own way. And like you learn how to like relax while doing all that, and it almost becomes like comforting, you know. Cuz I like there's times in my week where like I have to play guitar, you know, like I just have like a very strong urge and like it's not satisfied until I just pick it up and just fucking play some notes. Like it doesn't even matter. I just have to fucking pick it up. And like that just obviously comes from fucking, you know, my musician brain cuz like all day I'm just at work, you know, thinking about notes or songs in my head or fucking singing to something or
Right, like you
fucking
whistle
whatever,
like
you
a
know.
nice riff or something.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm like, oh, you know, maybe that'll be fucking cool. I'm gonna try and play that when I get home, you know. And fucking, there's even been times where like I will like think of a cool riff in my head, and like I'll pull out my phone recorder and I'll just like
Hmm.
acapella that shit, and then I'll go home and try and translate it on guitar.
Well, yeah, I think that's even what like the professionals like the I don't know, Taylor Swift is coming to mind because I watched Miss Americana somewhat recently. But it's amazing how these musicians will be like, "Oh yeah, no, I have an idea for a song. Let me pull open my like my audio notes app."
Yeah. Oh man, dude, BandLab, that's like my fucking
Oh,
savior. Fucking, I wish I could be sponsored by
well,
BandLab.
someday, man. Just like reach out to them, I'm sure.
Uh,
And I know that you've.
I have, I have before. I've reached out to them with Fleshcorn, and we tried to get featured as the band of the month,
Oh,
but we lost.
so good. I'm still. That reminds me. I'm still working on my. You know, I'm not. Spider Slayer for me is like a character. Like I'm. It's. That's not like really what I'm about. But I am making like a costume, like a suit for if we ever one day do a collaboration video. And so
Yeah, hell
I've
yeah.
got
No, definitely, dude.
like my battle jacket that I'm working on. That's gonna. I think of the Spider Slayer character as being like a black metal spider punk. And so Spider Punk's
Okay.
got his little like it's kind of like a little battle jacket. He's got like his pins and shit on there, but I want to make one that's like I've got Death, I've got uh, Dark Throne. I want to put like I don't
You gotta have Cannibal
sure.
Corpse on
I'll
there.
put Cannibal Corpse on there. I made one for Slayer because that's easy enough to do.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. You need Slayer on there.
But I'm thinking of it as like almost like a black thrash jacket because that's
Yeah, and maybe
oh yeah,
Megadeth too,
yeah.
or
I've
is
been
that?
listening to a lot of Megadeth
Yeah.
recently. Um, a part of it is like I don't listen to music that much anymore. I really only listen to it when I'm like driving around, and given that everybody's been on like lockdown for the past like 6 months, I haven't really been driving anywhere. But when I do, I'm probably going to put Exodus on there too.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Venom, if you want to go for some
Yeah,
classic black
Bathory, of
metal.
course.
Yeah, Bathory, fucking. Who else is good?
Annihilator, Annihilator, Annihilation, Annihilator.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
I've been listening
Annihilator.
to Alice in Hell a lot. It just comes up for me on Spotify all the time.
Fucking do you like Cattle
I don't think I've listened to
Decapitation?
them.
Oh man, they're they're definitely heavy. The vocalist does some like weird stuff with his voice. It's pretty cool. But I posted a cover of one of their songs before. It was fucking um what song did I do? I forgot which one. I think it was fucking Bring Back the Plague, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's. It looks like that's.
Oh yeah, it was fucking. They released that album with that song just recently, and it's fucking. It's great, man. I
I
suggest
definitely will check it
listening
out. It
to
looks
it.
like the video here is from April 1st.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah, yeah. So maybe I shouldn't say it
But I
just
mean,
came
like
out,
as
but
far as
fucking
we're talking like Slayer here. So anything before or after like 1985 is
yeah,
like pretty recent.
yeah. No, definitely. Fucking What else is good? Recent metal. Fucking, there's a new Infinite Annihilator album. I don't know if you listen to
I
Infinite
really don't.
Annihilator
I really
at all,
listen to like Golden Age thrash and like some Scandinavian
like
black metal when it comes up. A little bit like
Scandinavian
Mayhem.
black metal. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like some Mayhem. Have you ever heard of 122 Stab Wounds?
Maybe. I don't know. Like I'm not like I said, I don't really listen to music that much anymore, but I'm definitely writing down all these bands that you're suggesting right now.
Here, I'm just gonna send you a link.
I
for
do
this song.
kind of miss when you would DM me like, "Hey, just listen to this I'm trying to remember, was it Nile?"
Oh my God, yes, Niall's one of my
Right.
favorite
Well, and
bands of all time, dude. Egyptian death metal,
right,
is
and they do
just so
such a
good.
they do such a good job of being like you listen to it and you're like, "Yeah, this is I feel like I should be listening to this in the sarcophagus."
Yeah, yeah, and they're all from Seattle too, which is even
Oh, damn.
crazier. Yeah, they're not even real Egyptians. All right, here we go. The song is called "Rain Alive" by 122 Savage. I'm sending you a link because this song is fucking great. It's a little repetitive, but it's black metal.
Well, I feel like black metal in general is going to be pretty repetitive. But it's like good, like
Yeah.
it's like chaotic ambience for me.
Yeah. Do you like Children of Bodom?
Not familiar.
You've never
No.
listened to Children of Bodom? That's a fucking sin, dude. Holy shit. Oh God. Like right up here.
Well, I'll put it on the list. I've got such a variety of music that I like. There's definitely like a couple years in my life where I was listening to like the Guardians of the Galaxy awesome mixes, which like definitely not related to this at all, but like music from like the 70s, I feel like it was just like a golden era for a lot of like dad rock.
So, Children of Bodom is a fucking Finnish band, and they actually got their name from the Lake Bodom murders. I don't know if you ever heard about the Lake Bodom murders, but they're pretty great. Well, they're not great, but it's a very interesting and mysterious story because the dude claims that the Grim Reaper came out at night and killed his friends, and he was the only survivor.
Really?
So that was pretty intense. But yeah, no, that's a great story. But they're very like thrash metal-y, like I would like melodic thrash metal. And
which that itself is a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah. Picture like fuck man, I don't even know. Like a lot of my friends don't like them and they make fun of me for listening to them because they say that it sounds like video game metal. But they're just really fucking like technical, I guess.
Well, I got all these tabs open
like
now. I'm definitely gonna listen to it before I go to bed tonight. Maybe I'll get a DRI patch, or I'll make the like thrash zone patch. Is it DRI? It's been a long time since I was in like my punk phase.
Oh, are you talking about the people Richard hung himself? Those people?
I'm not totally sure.
Because I know a band called DI, and they make a song called Richard Hung Himself, and Slayer covered it
no,
too.
this would be Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. So DRI.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I feel like this would lead to like suicidal tendencies a little bit too. But I don't know if I want to put all these on a jacket. But definitely Flesh Scorn.
Oh, no, you don't.
But it makes sense. And it works out. And I do like listening to you guys. I don't know. The whole thing about like making a suit, this would have been cool to talk to Human about. Because I feel like he's like in a similar boat where he's like, I'm not a real life superhero. I just like making the things that a real life superhero would have, like the chest emblem and the goggles.
Well, you do get a sense of power wearing.
Oh, I'm
it.
sure.
I'm not
It's
gonna
like
lie.
wearing a
like dressing up in the blood spider suit. Like I do really feel like, you know, a different character. I don't feel like Garrett Mitchell. You know, I feel like the blood
absolutely,
spider.
yeah.
You know,
Well, and a lot of your stuff is like military surplus, right?
yeah.
I don't know. I know that I would have
Yeah.
probably like a lab coat or something, and I want to do like spalders, like the shoulder cap things. But
Oh
all of
yeah,
this is like I spent so much time working on that fiberglass face shell, like sanding and doing all that, because I wanted it to be like not like bulletproof, but I wanted it to be like really tough. And I don't like sizing things with the 3D printer, especially the ones we have, because it takes forever, and you got all these different pieces. And I would always run into problems with like one of the dimensions would be off, and it's like, well, there goes 7 hours and like a fifth of a roll of filament right there on a something on a member of the fuck it bucket, you know.
Yeah,
but
no, for real.
I don't know, I want to rain. I want to film a lot when it's raining around here.
Oh yeah, get that nice that darker fucking you gotta go in the woods too. You need to find some woods.
Yeah, I live right by quite a bit of woods.
Yeah, because I mean, every black metal video in the whole world has blood, crosses, woods, and fire. Every single one. Those are the 4 elements to make a black metal video.
And it's got like 4 dudes just standing menacingly.
Oh yeah, and you gotta look. Yeah, you gotta say it menacingly. That's the secret fifth element.
It'd be tight if I could find a good like abandoned church. A chapel, something like that. That would be get a little religious messaging in there.
Hell yeah, dude.
This is like unrelated, but I think it's super cool how I guess we don't need to get into it. It gets a little political, but I think it's cool how the Church of Satanism is becoming like the biggest advocate for reproductive rights.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, and this is a very common misconception about Satanism. So that church, the Church of Satan, that's LaVeyan Satanism, right? That's not necessarily the only reason why it's really called Satanism is because it's considered blasphemous against religion, right? That Satanism isn't worshiping the devil.
It's self-deification. Right? It's you putting yourself
exactly,
above,
but
like the oppressive nature that is organized religion.
Right, exactly. Now, theistic Satanism, that comes into play where, like, you believe in your whatever religion, Catholicism, Christianity, whatever, and you choose to worship the darker deity of that religion for whatever reason.
And that gets into, like, the left-hand path and, like, the ceremonial magic, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well... Yeah, I don't know, because Anton Alexander LaVey, or whatever the fuck, however you say it, LaVey, I don't know. That guy was like crazy, and he did actually believe in like magic and shit. But that was probably just a result of too many cocaine bingings and fucking random chicks.
Maybe a little bit of just some paranoid delusions, a little bit of psychosis creeping in. I love that Twitter thread of the Church of Satan talking to someone who's like clearly like a religious Karen type, and they're like, "Oh my god, Satan worshippers are out here doing all this, corrupting our children and all this." And the official Church of Satan Twitter is like, "Actually, it's a common misconception. We don't believe in literal Satan." And the lady's like, "Oh yeah, well then what do you call people who believe in a literal Satan?" And they're like, "Well, Christians." And it's just so funny to me. I think that religion is, I don't want to say it's ruining this country, but I think that it's so much of like an opinion-based thing.
Yes. I mean, number one, our country was founded on Christianity, which is ridiculous, but really religion and politics shouldn't be a thing together. That should be a completely separate thing. And like history has proven that time and time and time again. It's just like why do they make us swear on a Bible when you go to testify in court? Like what I guess fucking moral standing does that really have to make if a person is going to lie or not? Because people do that all the time and still lie in court. So like what even people that do believe in God, you know, like that it's why does that happen? Why in our Pledge of Allegiance is our flag divisible under God? You know, why is that a thing? Why does it have? Why do those things have to coexist with each other?
I do have a real answer to that question. It's all because of the Cold War. It's because in the 80s, you know what I'm going to say? Because the Americans had to separate ourselves from communist Russia, which was not religious; it was secular. And so people will say like, "Oh, well, we have in God we trust on our money. We say one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance," and it's like that shit's relatively new, even as far as the U.S. goes.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's pointless, I guess, is what the point I'm trying to make is because that moral standing is instilled into us. You know, it's almost a subliminal thing as a child. You know, that's just in our culture, and that really like shows you what the roots of religion and politics being one has done to us as a society, and the controlling aspect of it actually coming into play, where like, you know, you can instill the fear of God into the people and they'll tell you the truth, you know, that, and you can instill the fear of God into people and they might not, you know, want to fucking snort this fucking line of cocaine on a dollar bill that says fucking in God we trust on it. You know what I mean? Like they just fucking, and I don't know, this is coming from also, and I guess a pretty biased standpoint in my own views, because I'm like heavily not religious, you know, and I just fucking, I don't know, man. I just I think that the two things should be very much so separated from one another, because it really causes a lot of differences and disputes. You know, you should be allowed to believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in, and that shouldn't affect your political standing or fucking, you know, anything that has to do with the laws of the land.
Well, like everyone has to live under like our legal system and like our political situation, but not everybody believes in the same religious situation. So,
right. And I mean, obviously, we do have freedom of religion, but it's you know, it's a lot of people's instinct, and I should say it's a lot of ignorant people's instinct to hate and fear religions that they haven't come into contact with.
Yeah, it's just like another brand of xenophobia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's just, you know, obviously that's what fear is. You know, you don't understand something, so you're going to be afraid of it. But it's just the dismissal of, you know, ignorance that just mindlessly comes into play. You know, because they don't understand something, they choose to dismiss it with a godly thing. You know, like this, I don't understand this, so it must be an act of God, or, you know, this is what my God says is right, so anything else that opposes it is wrong. You know, and I don't know, man. I don't know who exactly said this. I think it was a comedian, but he was like, "Oh, if you let's say you're walking through a field one day, right? And it's just a flat, blank field for miles and miles, and you're the only person in this field. And all of a sudden, you get hit in the fucking head hard as hell with a rock, and like somebody threw a rock at you, right? But there's no one around you. There's nowhere that rock could have possibly been thrown from. Like there's no way, and you didn't see anything happen, right? You're in a field alone. Well, religious people are going to write that off as some kind of angry rock throwing deity, whereas more I guess scientific mind would try to rationalize that, like, maybe a squirrel ran up with a rock with a tree, or a bird was flying with it to its nest and it dropped it on my head, or something like that, and like it's just like the blatant dismissal, because of them being so ignorant, like you said with the lady talking to the Church of Satan. Like, she has, just because she sees the word Satan and like that word, that spelling of fucking letters and just what it represents scares her so much that she felt like she had to go and respond and say something about it, and without even knowing what it actually is. And, I think that it applies to a lot of stuff too, especially on the internet.
Well, I think like religion, I always think of religion as like, it was like answers to questions that we weren't scientifically advanced enough to answer.
Yeah. I mean, that does make a lot of sense. Because like, humans have always worshipped deities, which is crazy. Like, the Mayans, maybe it was the Mayans, I don't know. One of ancient Mexican civilization worshipped a sun deity, and it was they had a lot of like sacrifices that they would give to the sun deity because they were afraid that the sun wasn't going to come out every night, so they literally would like kill people like all the time to sacrifice it to this deity so that the sun would come back every morning.
Well, yeah. And I think it is the Mayans with their big like pyramid structures.
Yeah.
I'm actually like trying to learn Spanish again, so it's interesting to have this come up because I know that so many like Spanish activities are based on like the native Mexican, like, hey, let's read a book about someone who visits like Machu Picchu and like South American stuff. But yeah, it's all just like we as human beings have always wanted to find answers to like, why does the sun come up? And like the Earth is traveling through space, but like where is it going, and where did it come from? Where'd it come from? Where'd it go? Cotton Eye Joe, etc. But yeah, I don't know. And I think like, and you can totally cut this out of the podcast if you don't want like religious discussions.
No, I don't care, man.
But I love the presence of religion in like the Marvel universe, because I was reading.
Yeah,
I watched.
What is it?
Well, I watched Black Panther, of course, just the other night, and it was so interesting to see like I'm sure like the Black Panther comics, which I should definitely go back and read. They go into more of like the Bast, the Panther god. And Moon Knight too. I've spent some time watching the comics explained guys talk about Moon Knight and how he came.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I take so much inspiration from both of those, because like I said, I think Spider Slayer is like a character, and I did start it to be kind of like an anti-hero, a little bit like response to the RLSH community. Obviously, my name is Spider Slayer, but
right.
I don't know. I just, stuff like that interests me so much, and I'd love to get into. Like I've gone on to I think maybe some of the same places where you get your special effects from. My laptop died, but I think it's like Footage Crate. Do you use them for special effects ever?
No, I usually either get like stuff off of YouTube or they have like YouTube.
they have a pro subscription thing where you pay like $5 a month or something, but under a free account you have access to like some like pretty decent special effects, and they have footage crate.
What's it called?
I think. Yeah,
Footage.
and you actually had a video months ago now, maybe even a year ago, about like one of your web fluid tests, and they had that exact like the web like on a wall animation.
Oh yeah. I got
Really?
that from YouTube.
It's just like I'm getting into like video editing. I want to incorporate a little more of the like magical kind of mysticism, not like quite to like a Doctor Strange level, but I want to have there be a little bit of like the fantasticalness. But this is all very much like not my current editing ability. I don't even know really what iMovie can handle as far as like transparent effects. But they have a lot of like Spider-Man effects.
iMovie can actually do a lot of good stuff. At least with green screens,
Yeah,
it can.
I got to get one of those like folding ones.
So you said they have
If you look
Spider-Man.
up like web and then you go to the not pro. Are you able to find it?
Yeah, I'm looking through it right now. Yeah, so let's see. Sorry, that was dead air. We got Web Blast at cam, and it looks like it's a web shooting at the camera. Web Blast cross frame. That's just a web shooting across the screen.
But
Another one with its arching. Yeah, that's
like,
pretty cool.
Stuff like that is like, it's like another one of these skills that you have to pick up in order to really be involved in the like YouTube web shooting community part.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Oh dude, these are cool. There's a webbing wall impact. Oh yeah, here's the one that
I saw that and I
used.
thought I was like, that literally, I wonder if this is the website. And I'm sure it'd be worth it to pay for the subscription part, but like just the free stuff is like, it's pretty good. And they have a lot of like magic effects where it's like a little like shockwave of like color. And in the intro that I sent you, I use like a fireball effect or something.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, no, these are awesome, man. I might use one of these.
But I'm getting a lot of inspiration, and it's giving me a lot of different ideas on. I cringe at the idea of Spider Slayer being my spider sona, you know, because it makes it sound like a furry type thing, you know.
Not really, man. I'm I've told people that like I'm the blood spider and what my channel is and stuff, and like it's just different because I'm still even Garrett, you know, like as the blood spider, and like my fan base knows that, you know, so it's like once when you make that like distinctive separation in between yourself and like the RLSH shit, it does get a little bit easier, you know, but really not too much. So you do have to be like abundantly clear over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think I'll probably if I start putting out even like a video every like 6 months, I'll have like a disclaimer that's like, hey, Spider-Man is very cool. We all love Peter Parker very much. That's why we're here. However, no, I'm not going to swing. No, I'm not going to shoot this at people in the face. This is all prototypical, hypothetical, science adjacent, just like fucking around. It's not like a serious thing. But I also want to sell a little bit of like the magic that is like the fucking getting lost in like a fictional situation a little bit.
Well, yeah, and that was another thing I was going to talk about is like I'm going to go like a bit more of a comic book feel with my channel. I'm going to make like it's pretty much, you know, the Garrett and the blood spider are one thing. So like
sure, and
my videos are going to be a lot more cinematic too.
Yeah.
So like, and
you've taken a step of making the blood spider like a character in your videos, which I think is like super cool. You like give him like the death metal voice and
there's definitely going to be more of that. But like one of the things that I've been thinking about doing, like there's a webfluid video that I wanted to make, right? And like it's gonna be like, you know, me as Garrett, like, you know, starting it off and making it, but like the tests aren't really going as right, or like it's not as strong as I want it. And I do some research and like I find this fucking like fake chemical somewhere that's like not for sale, and it's like super hush hush online, right? And somewhere that's close to me. So then that I would film like, you know, a shot of me like suiting up and like, you know, heading towards that place, and then that's where it would cut, you know. And then you know, just to like imply that like, you know, then in like, you know, another section of the video it would be like, you know, I have the chemical, you know, so it would imply that fucking I went in there as Blood Spider and fucking stole that shit, you know what I mean? And like just shit like that, you know, sprinkled into the videos just to add it like more of a comic book
give it like a storyline.
You know?
I'm getting kind of like a little bit of like the Raimi Green Goblin vibes.
Yeah, kind of in essence. And like that's even how I wanted to bring the Carnage glove into play was like after me I was going to do like kind of like an Ultimate Spider-Man thing, how they made the symbiotes in like a lab, you know, and it was just like one of the web fluid concoctions that I make ends up turning into the symbiote.
Be so cool, honestly.
Yeah, and it was how that, at least how it was in my brain, was that like, you know, I just left it like this red liquid sitting in a jar overnight, and you know, it was just in the blood lab, you know, just dark because obviously nobody's down here and everything. It would just be like a down pan to it in the dark, you know, just sitting there. And then maybe like cut to something else, like even me sleeping or something. And then you would hear like a glass breaking noise, and then it would go back to the same pan, but now the vial's fucking empty. And that would be the fucking...
That would be, honestly, that would be super cool. And then I don't know if you can incorporate that into like the fan film at all, or if it would be like a separate universe type situation.
Yeah, no, I was thinking making a separate universe.
You could have an incident where you have like a cartridge explode and you like end up like getting cut on like your wrist or something, and you're like bleeding, and some of it gets into the container, so it like bonds with you the way that like Venom kind of bonds with Spider-Man a little bit.
Oh yeah. No, hell yeah.
I love just coming on your podcast and having it be like a weird think tank of like weird inane bullshit that comes up.
Dude, that's what they're for, man. That's why I've decided to just take like the Joe Rogan approach and just fucking like, there's no like script to this podcast anymore. That's just fucking, you know, I'm not gonna plan out, you know, questions, maybe like some fan questions and stuff, but I'm not gonna make a skeleton for them anymore. I'm just gonna keep them natural and flowing, because that's how we all talk better to each other when we're just talking as friends.
And I may be like one of the biggest, like I refer to it as like the YouTube Spider-Verse, you know. I may be one of like the biggest fanboys of the YouTube Spider-Verse since I've been watching since like for since I was 17, maybe even a little earlier. But it's like, this is good content for me, and maybe it's just because I'm too close to it. But if this shit was out like 2 or 3 years ago when I was crawling through the ancient web tech forums,
dude, fucking, I get so excited anytime anybody posts a video. I fucking throw, if I'm at home, I just throw that shit on the big screen.
Oh hell yeah, I do that too, and I don't think my wife really cares about it, but I'm definitely like, hold on, we gotta watch this. Human Spider uploaded. We gotta watch it. Turn off the news or whatever. We gotta.
At the very they're like, oh, I suddenly have to go take a shit. The Human Spider uploaded a video. Now it's time to go just chill in the bathroom for an hour and watch it. Thank you for joining us this week on the Bloodcast. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels and follow my podcast on any streaming services or platforms. And while you're at it, tell your friends about the show. Spider Slayer, thank you so much for having me this week, bro.
Once more.
Yeah, it was an honor. You'll be on another one, so don't worry. Yeah. Everybody, thank you for watching this week. Next week, we are going to have the amazing and symbiote host, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I'm the Blood Spider. Thank you for watching.